11.7, we did volume of the pyramid. And that formula is what? Good. 1/3 base area times height. Well, the volume of the pyramid is what it's asking for. So this one says find the volume of the solid. What kind of pyramid is this? It's a square pyramid. So if I did 1/3 the base area times the height, the base area would be a square, which means it would be 6 times 6, or 36. And the height of this is 8. So 1/3, 36 times 8. And you could simplify this any way you want, but 1/3 goes into 3 goes into 36 to be 12 times 8, which is 96, and it's inches cubed. It's multiple choice. Yeah. Mars.
Can I fill her up?
After Zoe comes back. Number 2, find the height of the triangular pyramid. So this time they give you the volume and you're actually looking for height. So 1/3 base area times height. The volume is 14. What shape is this base?
Triangular pyramid.
Well, the base is a triangle. It is a triangular pyramid, but the base is a triangle. So the area would be 1/2 base times height. 1/2 4 times 3, or 2 times 3, which is 6. And then the height is what we're missing from here. So 1/3 of 6 is 2. And if I divide both sides by 2, I get my height is 7. And it would be 7 feet. Questions on that one? Okay, 3. The volume of a square pyramid is 75 cubic meters, and the height is 9 meters. Find the side length of the square base. So same formula at the beginning. 1/3 base area times height. The volume is given, so that's 75. The base area is what we don't know. The height is 9. 1/3 of 9 would be 3. So I'd get 75 equals 3 times b. Divide both sides by 3. And the base area is 25. If the base is a square, then the base area would be side squared, or length times width, which are obviously both the same. So if this is 25, what's each side length? Good. Square root it. And the side length is 5. And it would be meters.
For a square, both sides have to be the same.
Correct. Yep.
But a rectangle.
Don't have to be. Right. Questions on that one? All right, 4 says pyramid C and D are similar. Find the volume of pyramid D. So we learned it in 11.5, but we reviewed it in 11.6. That if I have the ratio of two, the side lengths, the heights, the radii, if it's a cylinder, of two similar solids, they would be written in A to B. That would be the same as its scale factor. The areas would be A squared to B squared. And the volumes would be what? Good. A cubed to B cubed. So in order to do that, we need to set up the scale factor. I have 9 and 3, so 9 to 3 would reduce to 3 to 1. That's the scale factor. To get the ratio of the volumes, I would cube each. So 3 cubed is 27, 1 cubed is 1. And that would equal the ratio of the volumes. I have the volume for the bigger one, so that's going to go on the top, 324, over the volume of what I'm looking for, which is the pyramid, or prism D. No, pyramid D, sorry. So 27x would equal 324, and then I would do 324 divided by 27, and the volume I'm looking for is 12. And it would be 12 meters cubed. Questions on that one? All right, get yourself to a blank note in Notability so we can do a quick review. This is what, and I put it on the review assignment, but this is exactly what you're going to be getting as far as a reference sheet goes, okay? So on here are your previous areas, square, rectangle, triangle, and circle are on there. Area of a polygon is not on there, so that's something you have to know, okay? And then the rhombus or kite is not on there. That all came from this chapter. That's not on there. The volumes, there is more on there than you need. At this point, you could have done cube. We didn't give it as exact formula, but length times width times height would all be the same thing. The prism is on there, the cylinder is on there, and the pyramid is on there. We haven't gotten a cone or sphere. We will later. We haven't gotten there yet, so you don't need those, but obviously they're still on there. So again, this formula sheet will be given to you on Friday. This is what we need to know from the beginning sections. So in 11.1, we had circumference and arc length. Those were not on that reference sheet. So remember, circumference is pi d or 2 pi r. Arc length is the measure of the arc over 360 times either circumference, pi d, or 2 pi r. You could use any of those three. In 11.2, we got to area of a circle and area of a sector. The area of the circle is pi r squared. The area of the sector is the measure of the arc over 360 times either area or pi r squared. Degrees to radians and radians to degrees is the conversion you need to know, and it's not on that reference sheet. Degrees to radians, we take the angle and we multiply it times pi over 180. Radians to degrees, we take the angle and we multiply it times 180 over pi. And this is where you have to be really careful. Obviously, if it's multiple choice and you do the wrong one, that answer is probably a distractor on there. So you want to make sure you're going the right direction. It will either be kept exact, where pi is part of your answer, and you would see that from your multiple choice answers, or it would be in decimal format. And again, you'd see that from your multiple choice answers. 11.3 is area of a regular polygon and area of a kite or rhombus. The regular polygon is 1/2 ANS or 1/2 AP, because perimeter is the number of sides times the length of each side. And both the kite and the rhombus area is 1/2 diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. Yep.
Does the order of diagonals matter?
No. And remember, you're reporting to Miss Corey's room on Friday because of Grad Bash. So you're going to room 113 for this class. If you need to set yourself an alarm, like during A period on Friday, to remind you, please do so. You don't want to go late and start your test late. She will have your test, your reference sheet. There's a Scantron involved this time, so she'll have all that stuff. At Scantron, because it's multiple choice, like a bubble sheet. And you can only use the TI 30XS calculator, 32XS. Okay, the ones we have been talking about all year. That is the only calculator you will be permitted to use. You definitely want it this time. Obviously, there are times in which, your answers are going to be written in decimal format. So you need it to multiply by pi. Otherwise, you'll be multiplying by 3.14, which will not be fun.
What does dig mean?
Diagonal. Diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. That? Oh. Obviously, it doesn't have to be pink, but it has to be that one. All right. Then came 11.4, 11.5, and 11.6. 11.4 had identifying if it's a polyhedron or not. It's not going to be like a yes or no question, okay? But there will be ones in which you are identifying the amount of vertices, edges, bases. Actually, not bases, faces, I should say. Sorry, wrong word there. And this you can use to confirm it. F plus V equals E plus 2. Euler's theorem to check your answer. And then your cross section. So identifying the shape of a cross section, there's one question on that.
This is a
Cross section. Like when the plane slices through the picture and you have to figure out what the shape is. Yeah. And then came volume of prism, rectangular prism, cylinder, volume of pyramids. So these are what's on your reference sheet. And then it was in actually 11.5 and 11.6.
You have a reference sheet?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to do with you. The similar solids, the ratio of the sides or the scale factors A to B, areas A squared to B squared, and volumes A cubed to B cubed. So this is a composite figure, right? Obviously, we've had a couple of these. They could be made up of any of the shapes that we've talked about. So they could be made up of prisms, pyramids, God bless you, cylinders, anything put together like that. So this one is a triangular prism on the bottom, a right triangular prism on the bottom, and then a triangular pyramid on the top. So for the area, or the volume, sorry, of the pyramid, it's 1/3 base area times height. And then for the area on the bottom, it would be base area times height. The area of the base, they are the same. So once you find B, you only have to use it once. That is a right triangle. So it'd be 1/2 base times height, where the base is 12 and the height is 9, or vice versa. That order doesn't matter. So this would be 54 centimeters squared if I wanted the area. And then the height of the top, so the height of the pyramid is 7. So it'd be 1/3, 54 times 7. And the height of the base is 10. I'm sorry, the height of like the bottom pyramid prism is 10. So this would be 54 times 10. So that's 540. This is 18 times 7, 126. That would be the volume of both put together. Mars.
If it wasn't the right triangle, we have to do something else.
So the only other triangle that you have found the area of would be an equilateral triangle. And there's one on the review, but this goes back to your 1/2 ANS. So it's actually probably good practice because you haven't done it in a while. If I asked you to find the area of an equilateral triangle and I told you the side length, let's say the side length is 18. Where do we go from here? You could cut it down the middle here. That's one option. Each side length would be 18, right? Is that what you did? Cut it down that way? Or you mean the central angle?
Yeah.
Which one?
No, yeah, you would cut it down.
It could be the
360
bottom.
over 3.
So you're saying to draw with the apothem. Because you can actually do that two ways. Yeah. So you're
It
saying
would be the bottom is 9/3.
cutting it from here.
Wait, 360 divided by
So I would do 360 divided by 3. That's 120. Hang on, Santi. 120. Then you draw your apothem down, and that makes the top angle 60. So opposite the 60 would be half that side length, which is 9. That is your A√3 side. The apothem would be your A. It is not. It is A√3, and then divide. 9 over √3. The fact that you're gaming while the teacher who writes your test is going over a question that could be on your test is a pretty interesting life choice, but you go right ahead. And this is 3√3. Hold. That is your apothem.
What did he do? Like, how did we make it like a little triangle inside?
So this is 11.3. 11.3 was areas of regular polygons, right? Before we got into our solids. And so we used this formula, 1/2 ANS. At the start of that, you go through the same steps every time. You find the central angle by doing 360 divided by the number of sides.
Oh, yeah.
That's 3 in this case. That's the 120 that's at the top. Then you want to draw the apothem, so you cut that 120 in half, and the top is now 60. We can do this with a equilateral triangle. We could do this with a regular hexagon, and we can do this with a square and result into a special triangle there. I said you wouldn't have SOHCAHTOA, but any one of those three is fair game. So then if that's my apothem, then the formula is 1/2 3 root 3 times the number of sides, which is 3, times the length of each side, which is 18. And then I can simplify it, like 1/2 of 18 is 9. This is 9 times, that would be 81 square root 3 if kept exact. And if actually multiplied out, it'd be 140.296. And let's say it rounds to nearest tenth, it'd be 140.3, whatever the unit is, squared. So you'd have to know how to do that with an equilateral triangle or a hexagon or a square, because all three of those result in a special triangle. Could be any of them. Okay, so review is this. The solutions are posted like they're in the module, in the margins, okay, with just the answers themselves. On the bottom, note that that is not an answer. That is add the conversion between degrees and radians to degrees. So that got added onto that one. On the second page, we added on the equilateral triangle like the one we just did. On the third page, it says to find the number of vertices, faces, and edges for each of the solids. And then on the last page, we added in the ratio of the volumes and the composite figure. So make sure that this is your homework for tonight, is to work on this review so that tomorrow when you come in, you know what you know and don't know. And then I can answer those questions. That is correct. It is Friday. Tomorrow you have math, so we'll be on a shortened schedule. And I get you after lunch again, like it's the 3 at the end. There is a Quizlet. I don't know if I put it on a separate link or if I put it on the assignment. If not, I will put it right on the assignment that goes over all of the formulas and stuff like that. Realize some of those are on the reference sheet, but not all of them. So it would be to your benefit to know the rest of them. The volumes are on that reference sheet. And the reference sheet picture I took and I actually put on the assignment so you know exactly what it looks like if you want to be practicing with it so you get comfortable with it. That's probably a good idea. Questions for me? All right, you got 6 minutes.